Hey y'all, welcome back to another reading vlog. Today's the 1st of May and this is going to be the first of my weekly reading vlogs for May since I'm going to be participating in so many readathons. Things are going to be a little chaotic for the next couple of days because I am currently finishing up another vlog as I'm starting this one, and I was actually planning to start this one on Saturday because I should be a good chunk of the way through the stuff for the other vlog by then. But I'm starting this one a little earlier than anticipated because a couple of things are happening that I'm just very excited about, or a couple of things have happened, I should say, that I'm excited about. The first thing that is currently happening is that my last piece of my creative project, for my final project, for my class, for my master's degree ever, is exporting right now. I made a video, I'm waiting for it to export, and I'm going to be turning it in very soon. So I'm super excited about that. I am almost completely done with my master's degree, and I'm just so excited about that. The other thing that happened, I just have to mention because it was like thematically relevant to the readathons this month. Basically, I got to work today, and there was a bag with some stuff in it. I'm not filling it up any higher than this because it has the logo from my place of work on it, so we're not going to put that on here, but I work in the grad school at the university I attend, and my co-workers left me a little bag with some goodies in it and a card for graduation, which absolutely made me tear up. I was up until 4 a.m. last night finishing a piece of writing for this project, and I was so tired. I was like, I can't deal with emotions right now, and I'm like sitting at my desk tearing up. But the reason I wanted to mention it is that of the goodies that they gave me, one of them is a coffee mug that says the Gradalorian, like a regular graduate, just way cooler. And then on the other side it says the force is strong with this grad, class of 2024. So it's just like a super fun Star Wars themed coffee cup, and it was just funny to me because Star Wars themed readathon, first of all, and also Galactic-thon being sci-fi themed. So I was like, this could not have been more perfect, and they didn't even know it. Also, they gave me a notebook that has space cats, which is fun. So just felt thematically relevant to mention. Things are falling over. It's fine, don't worry about it. So anyway, I gotta wash this before I can use it, but I will absolutely be using it this month for some tea while I'm reading. That's gonna be fun. So now, moving on to the reading, the other vlog that I'm currently filming is gonna take precedence for the next couple of days, and I'm gonna be finishing up The Last Blood Carver and the Book of Alrian for my Q1 pre-orders vlog. That's what I'm currently working on. I'm gonna be starting this a day early since I am actually already turning in my project much earlier today than I anticipated. So I'm gonna have some time to read this evening, which means I'll be able to go ahead and get a start on the bulk of the reading for this. So this will hopefully be done very soon, and then I can move on to the reading I was hoping to do for this vlog for this week. So I have a few books I'm hoping to tackle this week, and I'm happy with the selection I've made because they're all a little bit different, and I think that's going to make this week even more fun for me. So first up, I have a couple of currently reading books that don't count for the readathon that I want to get through. I'm about a third of the way from the end of the Decagon House Murders, which I've been reading for a while. I don't know why I showed it to you like that. Like, you can't see my bookmark. There it is. I'm partway through this. I'm enjoying it more than I was at the start, so things are going well so far. I'm curious to see how it ends. And then Critical Hits, Writers Playing Video Games. There is a literary festival that happens in my town that's coming up in just a few weeks, and there's going to be a panel with some of the contributors from this book. Both of the editors, J. Robert Lennon and Carmen Maria Machado, will be attending as part of this panel, and then also Andrew Monson and Nanakwame Adjei-Brenya is also going to be there. So I really want to finish this so I can be prepared to attend that panel. I think it's going to be so much fun. And then for the readathons, I'm going to kick things off by finishing prompts for both Galactic-thon and May the Force Read With You all at once, because I'm going to go ahead and start with The Blighted Stars. I have been so excited to pick this up, and this will get me both the initiating systems prompt, which is the first prompt I have to do for Team AI for Galactic-thon, and it'll get me Plant Surge for May the Force Read With You. So it's going to be nice to kick things off with success on both readathons. Also, I'm just, as I've already said, thrilled to read this. I've been wanting to read this so bad for weeks now. And then the last book I'm planning to go ahead and read this week is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. And I want to go ahead and read this one because I believe the Patreon live show for this one is happening like on the 11th. So I want to go ahead and give myself time to get through it. Also because somebody commented on my TBR and told me that it's really good, but it's really dark. So I don't want to try and rush through it. I want to give myself some time and give myself the ability to kind of like read it alongside some of these other things so that it doesn't just completely get to me. But I'm very excited to read this, and I'm hoping to have it done in time to watch that live show. So those are all of my reading plans for the week as they currently stand. If I get through all of this, 1, that would be incredible. 2, I'll pick something else later on. I also haven't decided yet. Actually, no, I do know. I also want to read something for Horror Mayhem, and this week is going to be local horror. So I'm actually waiting for a hold to come in on the book I want to read for that, which is The Twisted One, no, The Hollow Places, the other one. The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher, which is set in North Carolina. I am originally from North Carolina, so that is local horror to me, and I'm really excited to read it because I just love T. Kingfisher's horror. Those I find to be pretty quick reads typically, so I think I'll be able to fit it in around other things, but I'm not sure yet if I'm actually going to be able to get it in time to read it for this prompt because I'm waiting on a library hold to come in, so that's why I kind of forgot about it. But that is everything I'm hoping to achieve this week, and I'm so excited. I'm going to be giving myself a few days to just read and not be doing anything else like real productive because I'm 1, very tired, and 2, my wrist is sore from all of the typing I've been doing for my final projects. So next little while is just going to be about giving myself a little bit of time to recuperate before I go full on into job hunt mode. So anyway, that's what's going on, and I'll check back in with you guys later. I'm going to be working on that other vlog for a little bit, but I'll see you guys probably like Saturday. Well, I am officially unemployed now. It's Friday. I finished my very last shift in the graduate school at my university, and it was really weird leaving and being like, I'm never coming back here until I have to go get my diploma, but like I'm never coming back for work purposes. Just felt so surreal and weird. But yep, I'm officially done with that position, and I'm fully in job hunt mode from now until I get a job. So that's exciting. So I'm going to be hopefully doing a lot of reading to keep myself occupied when I'm not working on job applications, just so I don't, you know, worry myself sick trying to get a job. At the moment though, I'm twisting fringe. I'm finishing up a shawl that I made for my mom. This is the last step I needed to do before I can toss it in the wash and finish it. So getting the fringe all twisted, and I'm on the last section, so it shouldn't be too much longer. And then I'm also rescheduling some videos a little bit because I realized that I've been working on that Q1 pre-order vlog, and it was unreasonable of me to ask myself to read all of the Book of Valerian in like 2 days, because that's the time I was gonna have for it, because I'm still finishing this one for that video. But like, this is 730 pages, and I started to think about it, and I was like, I'm gonna be so sick of this, and that is almost certainly gonna put me in a slump. So I'm gonna like let myself kind of split it up into the 2 different books, because it's The Element of Fire and then The Death of the Necromancer, I believe are the 2 titles. Yeah. So I'm gonna split that up a little bit more, so that'll, again, still be happening in the background of this vlog. But I am thinking I'm gonna go ahead and start for the readathons, starting for this week, The Blighted Stars, because I'm really in the mood for something that's sci-fi, and I'm really in the mood for something like a bit of romance, and I'm pretty sure this has some romance in it, and it just sounds like it's going to be so fun. I've been dying to pick this up. It'll let me kick off both readathons with some successful prompts completed for both, and I think that'll be really nice. I have done a little bit more looking at my kind of hopefuls list for the month, and I realized there's more things than I thought that I can find crossover between the 2 readathons for, so that's going to be really nice. I'll be able to get points for both of them. There's not really points for the Star Wars, well, there are certain points for the Star Wars one, but it's not a competitive readathon. Galactic-thon is, so I really want to be working on getting points for that one. So we're going to be starting here, and I could not be more excited for this. I've been picking this one up off my shelves and then putting it back and picking it up again and then putting it back again, like all of the last month and a half, ever since it entered my library, which I want to say was like in March. So yeah, so excited to be starting this one, and this is what we're gonna tackle first. I may also pick up I'll Be Gone in the Dark alongside it, just because I know that one I'm gonna need to break up with something, but here's where we're starting. So I'm Just excited. I'm gonna go get started. Good morning. It's Saturday and I have a brief update before I take my car in for maintenance this morning. I have to drive a town over, get my car worked on. It's just like standard maintenance. But I did manage to get the book in that I wanted to read for local horror this week for Horror Mayhem. The library hold did come in time, so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be reading The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. I'm so excited about this. I love her horror. She does this really fun blend of horror and comedy that just works for me like every time. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It's set in like small town North Carolina, and it's about a woman who finds like a secret dimension or something next to or under her uncle's museum. Very interested to see what that's going to be like, and I think I've heard better things about this one than the twisted ones, and I liked the twisted ones, so I'm really excited to dive into this one and see if I like it better. But yeah, it got here today, by which I mean I got a notification on Libby that it was available, and I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to read that. So clearly I have big plans for this week, and I better get started actually reading, but first, car's got to go get worked on, so this afternoon will be when the reading starts. I completely forgot to check in over the weekend at all. I just got very sleepy and also absorbed in doing other things. But on Saturday, Galacticon had a bonus prompt that was Astrophage breeding season, which was like you could read it was about how many pages you could read in a single day, so it was for May the 4th. And that one, you could read any book, regardless of whether it was for the readathon or not. So I ended up reading about 100 pages of The Hollow Place for that, so I was pretty happy with that. I then took a 2-hour nap, just conked right out. Apparently I needed some sleep. So I did that, and then played Baldur's Gate with my friend. We're still playing our co-op playthrough. We're right at the end, finally, so we did a few more of the little, like, Act 3 boss fights we were still working on mopping up, and then we did a couple more of them again last night. But then yesterday I also played Frog Detective. That was fun. I've never played that before. It was a weird experience because I feel like the quality improves massively across the 3 cases. I think they were separate games and then they got like put together into one to make one arc. So it's like the first one I was like, okay, this is fine. Second one I was like, okay, this is kind of fun, but it was really obvious. And the third one, I knew what was happening, but the way that the arc pulls everything together at the end was really good. I enjoyed that. So like overall, had a pretty good time with it. Also I have an otter mug. I keep trying to take a sip of it, but I keep talking. My mom went on a yoga retreat and brought me back an otter mug, and I love it. So I made some coffee this morning, had some breakfast. I'm about to start on job searching for the day. Oh, we got a friend. Well, Elwood in the window. Is it Elwood? It is Elwood. There's an Elwood in the window. About to start job searching for the day. I apologize, by the way, for the fan noises in the background. Our AC is busted, so currently everything is fans. But I'm gonna spend like 4 hours working on that. I think that's what I'm gonna do for now, is basically spend the time that I would have been spending previously on my part-time job. I was working 20 hours a week. I just use those 20 hours a week to do job hunting, and that's pretty much the plan going forward. I might reevaluate my resume at some point, but for now I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I just updated it like a few days ago. So I'm just gonna be job hunting for a while. Today is going to be mostly writing cover letters and applying, though, because I have a few things already like on my list that I want to get to that are mostly like at universities. I've worked previously in higher education. I like being in higher education, so I'm kind of hoping to go that route again. But you know, I'm keeping my options open, and fingers crossed I get some responses back soon. But it seems like things are just rough for everybody right now, so I'm just kind of trying to not go completely despairing immediately. But that's what I'm going to be doing, I think, every day. It's just like 4 hours of job hunting. And then the rest of my time will just be reading and playing video games to try and keep myself sane throughout this process. But yeah, I just realized this morning, I was like, oh shit, I forgot to update it all over the weekend. So anyway, that's what I did. I'm still reading Lost Blood cover for that other vlog, so someday that'll be done too. But I did read some of The Hollow Places, and I still haven't started The Blighted Stars, which is, I think, going to be next on my list. I'm just very like unfocused at the moment, and I think it's just that I'm a little disoriented from having worked so hard on like final projects and then suddenly had that be done and my job be done and just have like nothing in my life going on other than hanging out, reading, and job hunting. So I think I'm just like a little disoriented, and I'm hopeful that things will kind of pick back up once I get into a new routine. But yeah, that is where we're at for Monday morning, and yeah, I'm gonna go do my job hunting so that I can actually get to the fun stuff. Well, I've made it to about the 50% mark of the Hollow Places, and I am really enjoying it. It's not, I think, my favorite thing I've read from her because I think the horror escalates too quickly for my tastes. There's not enough like build up to what's happening, so it feels like it just jumps from things being pretty normal to things being very weird. So I really would have liked a little more buildup of tension earlier on, but I still really love the humor. I'm really enjoying the characters, so like I'm still having a good time with it. I think it's just not my favorite of her horror books that I've read, but I am having a good time with it. The other thing I realized was that I could use it for Plant Surge, so actually I'm going to be swapping that in for Plant Surge for May the Force Read With You, so that I can get that prompt. And then I think I'm going to use the Blighted Stars for Transfer Force instead, because that prompt is to read a book that's a different genre than the last book you read. So I'll be jumping from horror to sci-fi. So I'll still be able to get some prompts kind of checked off. But now, because it's Tuesday already, I'm starting to wonder if I might be in a little bit of a slump, because I was very excited for all these readathons. I was very excited to read this month, and I'm just kind of struggling to stay focused on a book at the moment. I don't know if it's just like because school has ended and my schedule's changed so drastically, or I don't know what it is, but I'm finding like even though I'm having fun reading the stuff that I'm reading, I'm struggling to like find the motivation to pick it up. So I think I might be in a bit of a slump, which kind of sucks because readathons are happening and I want to, especially for Galactic-thon, I want to be able to contribute to my team. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I just am feeling a little slumpy right now, I guess. I'm hoping it'll clear up in another week or so. Actually, the faster the better. If it could clear up in the next couple of days, that'd be great. Maybe it'll help once I actually finish one of the books that I'm currently reading. But I didn't put a video up today. Today's Tuesday, and I just was not happy with the video that I had filmed, and I'm feeling like I don't have a whole lot of ideas at the moment. Like I'm just feeling a little bit stuck, and I think it might be related to just kind of the general like drastic life change I've just had, and the fact that I'm like very focused on job hunting, and that's like really taking up a lot of my mental real estate. Yeah, I don't know right now. I am still like enjoying things I'm reading, but life feels very weird at the moment. It's very disorienting to go from having a very busy schedule to having nothing going on and having to structure your own time. I am trying to like stay busy with some chores and obviously reading, and I've been playing some video games. I've been playing The White Wolf of Icicle Creek. I can't remember if that's maybe 6 or 7 in, maybe further in, but it's one of the Nancy Drew games. I've been on a quest to play all of them, and this is my current one that I'm working on. So I started that, and I have been enjoying that, although I think the puzzles in this one are more frustrating than usual, so I don't think it's my favorite one I've played, but it's still Nancy Drew. It's still a good time. Kind of similar with the T. Kingfisher thing. Like, it's not my favorite, but I'm still having a good time with it. I just like other entries better. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm hoping I'm gonna get this vlog up, because honestly I haven't been doing anything. I got a few more days. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow I've got to go and take some books back to a professor because I borrowed some books for a project, and then I also need to take some other stuff I'm donating to the department, and then I'm probably going to come back and try to do some more job hunting. I only got one application in today, so I want to do another one. That was the other one on my list for today, but I spent a lot more time on the cover letter for the other one, for the one that I actually did today, than I anticipated. So I'll probably do that, and then I think I'm really going to try and buckle down and finish one of the books that I'm reading so I can have something to post soon. And again, I'm hoping that like finishing a book will help break me out of that slump. I think maybe it's just that I'm like looking at the pile of stuff I have to read and just getting like overwhelmed maybe. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I did realize though that Galactic-thon is doing prompts like one at a time, so you can only or you have to like read them in order, and you can't submit for a prompt that's further down the list than the week that we're currently on. So I didn't realize that earlier on, so that's interesting and good to know. So I'm a little behind still because I still need to read the Blighted Stars, and I need to read the Eterna files for, those are for what, initiating systems and upgrade potential. So I'm, haven't even started yet, but I am going to be using the Hollow Places for one of the bonus prompts, and I did a navigator prompt, so it's fine. So anyway, I think this is going to be the end of this very rambly update. I think I'm just having a little bit of a struggle with motivation at the moment. It's just been a very weird few days, kind of, you know, suddenly not having any structure to my life. But I'm hopeful that like finishing something will make me feel a little bit better and a little more motivated, and I'm sure as, you know, time kind of moves forward, I'll get into more of a rhythm with my kind of daily schedule. So I think it'll be okay, but like life feels very weird right now and I'm just struggling to pick up anything to read. Well, I went to campus today to return some books to one of my professors because I had borrowed some books for one of my final projects. And on my way home I decided to run by Barnes & Noble just to get out of the house for a little bit because I've been mostly just sitting around my house and mostly in my office here. I've spent most of the last 4 days just in here. So I decided to get out for a little bit and I went over to the Barnes & Noble since it was near campus, and I'm really proud of myself that I didn't buy a single book. I went looking for 2. And I found one of them, which was a Botanical Daughter, which for some reason I'm having trouble saying today, by Noah Medlock. But this one is like a Frankenstein-esque book about 2 men who live in like a Victorian, or in the Victorian era, but they live in like a greenhouse. And one of them is a botanist and the other one is a taxidermist. And they make like a woman out of mushrooms. Anyway, that's the thing that happens, and I think it sounds really interesting. It is similar to a lot of other things I've read, and it's marketed as like for fans of Oscar Wilde and Sylvia Moreno Garcia, who are 2 of my favorites. So obviously I was very intrigued, but I found it when I was there and I read a few pages and I'm not convinced on the writing style, so I think I'm gonna wait and see if the library eventually gets it, or I might end up buying it as an ebook. I'm not sure I want to spend like hard copy kind of money right now, especially on a book I'm not sure about. So I was very excited, but the writing style definitely did throw me off. And then I was also looking for The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett because I read an arc of that and loved it, and I want to get my own copy because I think I'll probably reread it sometime in the future. But they didn't have it. They had like every other book he's ever written, but not that one. So don't know when I'll get that one, but someday eventually I want to have my own copy. But yeah, I didn't buy a single book and I'm really proud of myself. I had self-control today. Very exciting. And now I'm home and I am going to do some more job applications, hopefully do some reading this afternoon. We will see. I'm very tired. My friend and I have been finishing up Baldur's Gate 3. We were doing a co-op playthrough of it and we are finally at the end. This is her 3rd full playthrough. This is my 1st full playthrough, and we're at the epilogue now. So we ended up having to go to bed in the middle of the epilogue. We have like 20 minutes left because we still need to read like all the letters we've gotten from people, and I have a couple of companions I still need to talk to like finish up their little arcs. So been playing that, but that means that we were up quite late because we were trying to get through that and we just started later than we had intended, and we finished the last fight, started the epilogue, and then it was like 1 a.m. and then we continued to talk for a few minutes and it was like, I don't know, like 2 when I went to bed. So I am very tired today. I don't know how successful I'm going to be at getting much of anything done, but I'm certainly gonna try. My lighting is all over the place because that window is open, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get some job applications written and then read something if my brain will cooperate with me. I might play something if it doesn't, but yeah. Still, I think kind of considering that I might be in a slump, which is frustrating, but we're gonna make it work. It's gonna be fine. I'll eventually read something. That's how it always happens. Right now I think I've just been in a game mood just because I haven't gotten to do much of that lately too, so that's the other half of it. But yeah, I'm very proud of myself for not buying anything, and I'm really just putting off working on job applications because I'm so tired of writing cover letters. But I better go do that because, you know, the more things I apply to, hopefully the sooner I will actually get a job. Hello, it is Friday. I still haven't finished a book, But I'm excited because my reading mood seems to have finally started to return. I woke up this morning and I was like, man, I really want to read a book. So I'm gonna try and capitalize on that today. I'm gonna do my job applications for the day. I've been doing pretty good on this week. I had one day where I didn't apply to anything because I had a headache all day. But other than that, doing pretty good. So I'm gonna do that for the morning, and then we're gonna try and capitalize on that reading mood being back and see if I can finish at least one book today, because I have several that I am like in the middle of that I'm really enjoying. So fingers crossed. I'm gonna get some coffee and food first, get to work on those job descriptions, or job applications I should say, and we'll see where we go from there. One other exciting thing happened today, which is that this light burned out. That doesn't seem like it should be exciting, but the thing is, my office is incredibly dark. You may notice this in a lot of my videos, that the light is very variable. Part of it is that this light sucks. They put these like, it's supposed to be like super eco-friendly bulbs in there, which is great and all, but they're very, very dim, and they're dim when they first turn on, and they get a little bit brighter after they've been on for a while, but they don't work very well. And in this particular space, I have a window that faces like the wall of my neighbor's house, so this room is just never gonna get a ton of light. This is what it looks like with the window open, so it's always been very dim. But those, having burned out, can now be replaced. I was waiting for the second one to burn out before I replaced them, and I'm very excited about that because the bulbs that I have, I believe, are also supposed to be eco-friendly. They're much brighter because we've been using them in other places as the lights have been burning out, and they're like super bright. So I'm finally gonna have more adequate light in my office, which is very, very exciting for me. So very silly thing to be excited about. Also, my cat is currently very pleased. He's got his little collection of boxes down here. I save like Amazon boxes and things for him, periodically replace them because he loves boxes. He also loves paper bags, so he's got a few of those, and he is got himself a little sunspot. He's all curled up in a box, and he's so cute. Let me see if I can turn this around to show you. You are gonna have to pardon that my office is very messy. I have what I'm calling master's mess, which is that when I was working on my degree, very little tidying was happening. This is all stuff that I've kind of started tackling now that I'm done. Like this week I've been kind of taking on some like little small tidying chores and things, so this will be fixed. Please pardon the mess while I show you my cat because he's so cute. Yeah, well, he's at a good box. After reading almost nothing for most of the week, I have now finished 2 books today. And I'm going to talk about the second one first just because it's already in my hands. But I read Way of the House Husband, Volume 6, which I read for the Force Healing prompt for May the Force Week. Having trouble saying the name of the readathon. May the Force read with you. That prompt was to read a book that's either a comfort read or has cozy vibes. I think this is both. It's very much a comfort read for me. This is a series about this guy named Tatsu who used to be in the Yakuza, but now he's a house husband, and he just does very mundane things in a very intense way. And it's very silly. It's full of like silly jokes about his time as a Yakuza, and people like misunderstanding him because of the way that he looks and how scary he is. But he's really just like genuinely nice and enjoys being a house husband and taking care of his wife. So it's a very cute series and I really enjoy it. And I really like this volume just as much as I like the previous ones. There's not really a plot to speak of. It's just like little vignettes of Tatsu's life, and I just have a fun time reading every volume. The other book that I finished, that down there so I can switch arms, was The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher, which I'm glad I have finally finished. This is not my favorite thing I've read from her, but I did have a lot of fun with it, and I really liked the latter half more than the first half. So this one is following Kara, who her uncle owns a place called the Wonder Museum, and she moves back with him. She kind of grew up there because she and her mother never really got along, so she moves back with him after she gets divorced, and while her uncle is away for a little while, discovers a portal into a terrifying alternate dimension and a warning that you should pray that they are hungry. Things kind of snowball from there, and I did really enjoy this one. I think I just don't love like alternate worlds and like multiverse kind of stories very much. I don't think those are my favorite kind of stories, and this really did dig into like kind of multiverse ideas, which I don't think is a spoiler. It starts pretty early talking about that, and also I think you can kind of get that from the premise on like the summary on Goodreads or on the back of the book. But I did really enjoy the characters. I really like Kara and Simon, who is her new friend, who she's gotten to know since she moved back. She's known him for like many years, but like just kind of as acquaintances, and then they become friends across the course of the book. And I really liked the friendship that developed between them. I thought that they were really fun characters. They really worked together well, and the way that they like supported each other through everything that was going on was really sweet. So I just had a really good time reading that. And I really liked the latter half of the book because it kind of gets away from some of the multiverse stuff and does some other things that I thought were a lot creepier. I think my main issue was just that the multiverse stuff starts too early for me, and I felt like there was not enough kind of build of tension and dread. So I wanted more other creepy things to happen prior to getting into like the big creepy thing, and it kind of went the other direction. It was swapped, I guess. But I did still really enjoy this. I'm giving it like 3.5 stars. Just not my favorite thing from T. Kingfisher. I liked the Twisted Ones better, which I think is an unpopular opinion. I think I've generally seen better reviews for the Hollow Places than the Twisted Ones, but I just think that the Twisted Ones, like the horror in that one, was just very geared to scare me specifically, and this one just wasn't quite as scary or as tense for me. I am using that one for the plant surge prompt. I decided to do that since it has a tree on the cover, and I feel like that's really fitting because the trees are really important in this book, and I thought that that was one of the more interesting pieces of the horror. Actually, the book is itself inspired by a story called The Willows by Algernon Blackwood, I think. So I don't actually know that story, but the author's note at the end mentions it. So I'm using that for plant surge, and yeah, I think that's it. So I basically haven't finished anything yet for Galactic Thon, other than I think I did have something on my list for a bonus. One of these worked for a bonus prompt. I'll look it up later. Actually, we'll look it up right now. I think I jotted it down. Apologies if the lighting goes all funky. It tends to do that when I turn around. I swear I jotted down somewhere that this was gonna work. I think it was the Hollow Places worked for one of the bonus prompts, because the bonus prompts for Galactic Thon don't have to be for sci-fi books. You can read anything. I think there's one that's like a sci-fi subgenre, but the rest don't have to be sci-fi. I swear I wrote this down somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe it does not. Apparently I'm wrong. I don't actually have a note anywhere, and I'm looking at these and I don't see any prompts that fits. I thought I had figured that out. Anyway, that's 2 books down for May the Force read with you, and I think I'm going to try and spend most of next week reading for Galactic Thon, just because I have completely neglected that one, and that one is the competitive team-based readathon, so I do want to get some progress in on books for that. But I'm so glad that I finally finished a couple of books. It took me all week, but I finished a couple of things, and I'm feeling good about that, and I enjoyed both of them, so that was good. I think next week I will try and get back to the Blighted Stars. I'm still going to be using that for the first prompt for Galactic Thon, and it'll work for a couple of the other prompts for May the Force read with you, so that still will like let me cross off prompts for both readathons. So I think that's going to be the plan for next week, but for now I've got to get this vlog edited so that you guys can see it tomorrow, because it's supposed to go up tomorrow, and that's not going to happen if I keep on rambling. So I think that is going to be it from me for now. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.